Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. In this video I have for you game 1 of a best of 3 between ArturoDiaz and Frubblord in the semi-finals of the first Steel Division 2 Championship. Today's map is Slutsk East, and on the Soviet side ArturoDiaz is going to be playing with the 2nd Guards tank corps and the balanced deployment type. And on the Axis side we have Frubblord using Gruppe Harteneck and the Vanguard deployment type. So both of these players had great quarterfinal performances. Arturo knocked out Losser in his quarterfinal and Frubblord defeated ZZ. Now we'll have to see how they do in a best of 3. Either way, let's focus on these divisions because we haven't seen these before. 2nd Guards tank corps, well known for their use of T-34-76s and the T-34-85s. They don't have anything heavier than that, so a very mobile division. And they do also have great use of support weapons. They get the 45mm AT guns as well as OBs, which are really nice. They've got decent heat ammo, which can penetrate medium armor at longer ranges. On the side of Gruppe Harteneck, they have the Tigers, of course. They also have some very strong infantry. So it's a great heavy armored infantry playstyle that the Gruppe Harteneck can bring onto the field. The Tigers supporting Hungarian infantry. There is, of course, some German infantry in there as well. You can get the Jaegers, I think, and the Reitjägers and stuff like that. So, yeah, we'll probably see a combination of all of those units. Let's see what's going down. On this bottom side here for Arturo, we have 2 Ognemechiki, actually just one there. Oh no, there is 2, never mind. 2 45mm AT guns. It's going to be 2 Gvardia in M2A1 half tracks and Tango Desaniki there as well in those M2A1 half tracks. There's a T-34-76 1943 going to be following that up. Interesting that the Gvardia are coming in half tracks, but they are quite cheap on their own. So 20 points plus 10 points for the M2A1. Further up, going to be 2 sets of 45mm AT guns and OBs. And there's 2 Ognemechiki, Gvardia, Tanko Desaniki, and T-34-76. I assume those are going to go onto the hill side of this town, and these ones probably going to go into the bottom side engagement. Then further up, we have a Ognemechiki squad there with an AT gun and the Gvardia. Further up, Ognemechiki. Going to be 2 more AT guns here, another 45mm and a ZIS-2. It looks like Arturo has purchased all of his 45mm AT guns from the start. The 2 flamers there going to follow that up, and the Tanko Desaniki. Interesting use of the amount of support weapons that the 2nd Guards can get. Either way, on the side of Frubblord, he is going to be bringing in a 45mm as well. This is the same as on the Soviet side. 4 units of Ersatztruppen there, more Ersatz on the top side, Grenführer following that up, Panzer Grenadier there, 2 T-34s at the back, another Panzer Gren probably going to go to the top side of the ridge. There's 2 MG42s, make that 3 MG42s, and also a Commandant and Grenführer there, so it looks like he's going to go for the Ersatztruppen Commandant combo, where you make all of the Ersatztruppen 2 stars to get a lot of value out of them. Kind of smart. Then we have the 45mm moving into those trees there, another 45mm moving further up. Ersatztruppen, 4 units of Ersatztruppen coming down this road, but the 45mm, can it get any kills? Not going to hit just yet. MG42 and 45mm for the very top side of the map. So that's about it. Doesn't look like that AT gun in the center is really going to get too many kills, unless it can snipe one of these Ersatztruppen as they get closer. But the Ognemechiki can unload right in the face of all of those transports. One does go down. The other 2 will likely be forced to unload from there. Meanwhile, though, we see the engagement between the T-34 and the 45mm AT gun. Looks like the T-34s will get the better of the 45, but in general, in similar strategies on both sides. Both players have brought in infantry in half tracks. Both players have brought in T-34s. The only difference really is that Frubblord has more infantry due to the abundance of Ersatztruppen, which are nice and cheap, and he's making them get more value with the Grenführer here. Now trying to break down the half tracks, but we'll have to be careful from the engagements on the hill here. The OB plus the 45mm firing at this tank will eventually take it out if he's not careful. Incendiary, crack broken, the heat shells, they're getting all used up from this OB, that's for sure. Normally they are more accurate over the time, but the OB-25 managing to find the kill there with the last shot. But both 45mm AT guns on the side of ArturoDiaz killed at the start of the game. The two on the side of Frubblord still alive, still covering the road from reinforcements. Also might be able to get a shot onto one of these half-tracks here by the looks of things. Nice positionings from these MG42s. Unfortunately this one getting hammered by 50 cal fire from these half-tracks. But this one further back will continue to cover infantry on this bottom side. As the tanker Dasaniki now engage these Ersatztruppen. Guardia being hit by that MG right now. We do see that the other T-34 I think went up on the hill. It kind of backed away from that engagement and moved up here. So it looks like Frubblord's going to try and press on through this top side. A couple of Jaeger Pioneer joining this engagement. Do you see the OB there move to the edge of the trees? Trying to get a shot down onto these Ersatz. They did manage to kill the Guardia squad that was there. Now just trying to get close enough, I guess, to get grenades onto the half-track, but that depends if Arturo lets him get close enough, which I doubt he will. One of the Ersatz has died on this bottom side. 45mm AT gun though, still firing away, trying to clean up these half-tracks. There we go, there we find another one gone. Oh, the T-34 here has a excellent chance to find a very good kill onto the SDKFZ 251-2. But looks like it managed to get out of line of sight in time. That would have been a devastating loss for Frubblord if he'd lost that mortar half-track. That would have been an absolute nightmare. Either way, the infantry engagement has been won here by Frubblord. It looks like the Jaeger Pioneers were enough to break through all of the flamers and such there. Now these Jaeger Pioneer can clean up the OB at close range, which is really nasty for Arturo. Doesn't want to lose units like that as easily. Now the T-34 going to be engaging the other T-34. Who can win this engagement? The T-34 on Frubblord's side of things does have a little bit more of an advantage due to the 90mm of frontal armor. But ultimately they're going to have more or less maximum penetration chance of that range. It looks like Frubblord just managed to luck out on that one. One of the Ersatz does get surrendered, but the Jaeger Pioneer still putting pressure onto that flag. Now currently Arturo is better off because he has this flag captured on Frubblord's side of things. The Frubblord's actually going to have to take more ground in order to find an advantage at the moment. He has of course almost pushed ArturoDiaz off the hill here, which is pretty vital. If he manages to do so and then brings up some support weapons behind that, this could be really nasty, because not only would ArturoDiaz lose 2 points, he would also then have a hard time getting any reinforcements close from that position. Something like a Jagdpanzer that Frubblord has now brought in could certainly cut those off. And when you get a Tiger onto that hill, well, not even T-34-85s are going to save you. So I think here Arturo really has to be careful not to let Frubblord get the better of him in this infantry engagement. And currently the Guardia just aren't cutting it. I think Arturo is so reliant on the 50 cals of these half-tracks, but ultimately Frubblord has a T-34 there that can slowly but surely cut those down. Meanwhile on the bottom side, Frubblord has more T-34 76s, which are now engaging this AT gun. The AT gun has to find some crits here with the APCR. Otherwise it's going to be in trouble. And it looks like it's going to go down. T-34 85 1943 might be able to save the day a little bit, but is currently massively outnumbered. And that could be a big issue for that tank. This T-34 moving forwards has already killed a couple of these half-tracks, going to bail out a third. Frubblord's infantry slowly being pinned. Frubblord might be able to do a quick pickup there with his half-track, but nice kill from the T-34 on ArturoDiaz's side of things. Manages to clean up Frubblord's. Arturo's T-34 76 on the bottom side, though, currently bailed out. Now the Jagdpanzer are going to be engaging the T-34 1943. This is a relatively even engagement between the two. Su-85 also being brought up. Not often you see those. I would have preferred to see another 1943 T-34-85. Transmission damage by the Jagdpanzer. Well, but the Jagdpanzer gets the kill, so... Well, that's the T-34-85 going down. Gvardia does manage to get a kill as Frubblord gets a little bit too close for comfort with the T-34. Track's broken. SU-85 might be able to kill some of these, but oh, that's not good at all, is it? Starkey or the Gvardia go down. That's going to relinquish a lot of territory. This is bailed out, so it has no effect on the front line. And a Tiger E is now on the field. That Tiger going to be really tough for Arturo to take out. These T-34s do manage to find a transmission damage, which is certainly very annoying for Frubblord, but ultimately the Tiger still has bite and will destroy one of those T-34s on the hill. Likely to kill the second if Arturo doesn't put it back quick enough. Looks like he's just going to get away with that. 285 here has done a fantastic job cleaning up some of these T-34s. Takes out the last one on the bottom side. But the infantry's still here. Frubblord able to move up with his Reitjäger. These are the meat on the bones when it comes to Gruppe Harteneck. They are absolutely fantastic squads at the mid-range engagement and can demolish the cheap Gvardia squads of Arturo. Currently, Arturo's setup with this Gvardia coming in half tracks is really not paying off, and this is not the first time we've seen this go bad. When players do tend to rely on all of their infantry being in half tracks, it just don't seem to get the same value as those players who don't use as many. Because all you need to do is really just support your infantry with one tank and you can kill every half track. Now, really nice position from Frubblord up on this hill. Is going to be able to fire down onto any engagement here. And you could see that even these Jagdpanzers could beat a T-34-85, and that is not good news for Arturo. Both of the Tanko Thessaloniki do make it into the town, and they actually are very close to the Grenfjord here. Grenfjord are lucky not to take a Molotov to the face. This T-34 is struggling though. 45mm AT gun has moved up. Does take it out, and now that these 45mm AT guns are on the hill, it's only going to make things more and more difficult for Arturo to gain back ground. Reitjäger unloading right in front of the Tanko Thessaloniki here. They don't have any Molotovs left, so those are going to go down very quickly. These Tanko Thessaloniki are currently reloading their Molotovs. This Reitjäger managed to kill a unit of Tankos even though they did get Molotovs. And wow. So far, Frubblord's certainly getting the better of Arturo's infantry. And that's just all it's been really so far. Just all about the infantry engagements. More so than the armor. Now, of course, Frubblord has brought in these Jagdpanzers behind, and killing the T-34-1943 is important, but ultimately the Gvardia going down is more important, as there is no AT threat after they are dead. So that just allows not only Frubblord's infantry to run forwards, but also these Jagdpanzers to move up so liberally. Jagdpanzer currently trying to take on T-34 at close range. The T-34, the biggest problem it has is its lack of rate of fire in comparison to the Jagdpanzer. The Jagdpanzer has 8 rounds per minute rate of fire, whilst the T-34-85 has 5 rounds per minute. That makes a huge difference in engagements like this, where they are relatively even on penetration at range. The Jagdpanzer has so many more chances to penetrate. Now here, load a wound onto the Jagdpanzer, whilst the T-34-85 already has 2 criticals. One more penetration from the Jagdpanzer should get the job done, but the T-34, oh, it bounces! That is not good news for Arturo. One more shot from the Jagdpanzer might get the kill. It's going to be accurate, very accurate, having fired so many shots. Oh, the bounce from the Jagdpanzer! T-34-85 comes out on top. It just shows you how close those engagements can be. Ultimately, these 2 Jagdpanzers on the hill still causing issues for Arturo's reinforcements, and Frubblord currently sitting at 14-10. If you can get an infantry squad to start walking across towards this flag, you can certainly go 15-10 very quickly. He could go it'll be 15-9, sorry. He can go 16-8 if he pushes across towards this flag. And T-34 here is currently now pinned down. I think the Jagdpanzer is engaging this T-34 1942 variant, the 45mm also engaging that from the hill, and now this Tiger in the bottom side is going to be hard work for the T-34-85 1943. And what was a very tight engagement at the start has ultimately been won out by not only Frubblord's infantry availability, he had way more troops than ArturoDiaz, but I think it also comes down a lot to Arturo's reliance on those half tracks. And for every half track, or every 2 half tracks he could have had an extra infantry unit at the end of the day if he hadn't have brought them in half tracks to begin with. T-34-85 does go down on the hill, and now this flag is almost up for grabs. Tango Desaniki currently holding in the trees there, but all it's going to take is maybe these half tracks pushing onto the flag itself. Arturo is just trying to get an infantry squad to secure this flag on the top side, but currently 13-11, and Frubblord is not giving up just yet. The Hasselrock are arriving. We are into phase B, and these Hasselrock are very strong 16-man squads at the 500-meter range. They don't have a machine gun, but they can get a lot of guns on target if you're within 500 meters. The Hasa Godosoroshok, those are the squads that have the 3 machine guns at their disposal. Oh, lovely kill there from the T-34-85. Takes out one of the Jagdpanzers on the hill. Tapari going to go down very quickly to 3 squads of Hasselrock shooting them in the face. Hasa Godosoroshok, will they be able to unload in time? Doesn't look like they're going to. One of them is already dead. Frubblord really needs to make sure that unloads. He does. Okay, now the Zis-2s are in trouble because the machine guns opening up onto those is going to kill them very quickly indeed. 16-man squad. They also are in range of their rifles. So there we go. That's going to be 2 Zis-2s going down potentially. Nope, that one manages to get into cover. 55 points apiece for a 35-point squad. Frubblord pretty much paying back his lost squad before he unloaded. This Tiger, it's got to get up. There's transmission damage though. I told you that it would be a pain. And it's certainly making this Tiger very, very slow indeed. Even if it's fast moving down this road. Mortar strike coming into this Zis-2 already. Jagdpanzer trying to engage the T-34-85 from range. They have reasonably close penetration chances, I believe. But the Jagdpanzer gets the better of the T-34. That is nasty. I think rate of fire once again coming out on top, but a gun jam from this T-34. This one certainly got the ace up its sleeve. What about this Jagdpanzer though? That's going to be engaging. Can we see the one shot? The T-34-85 is still engaging the one on the hill. Big mistake. Driver is killed. That's not going anywhere. Might give time for the Tiger to engage if the Jagdpanzer doesn't kill it already. Loader knockout is a nasty crit. T-34-85 is not going to be shooting back. Already has low rate of fire as it is. Jagdpanzer going to have a couple more shots to get a kill. Driver kill still in effect. Can it finish it off? It will indeed. T-34 goes down. T-34-85 was very stressed when it tried to fire back and therefore did not hit. Jagdpanzer also now has a chance to finish off the Zis-2, does indeed very quickly, and we're seeing the 45mm AT gun now having a go at a reinforcing T-34-76 whilst this Jagdpanzer moves forward to engage the 1942. Does find the kill, lovely stuff. These Jagdpanzers proving invaluable to Frubblord. More Hasselrock now moving forwards, engaging. We do find the 16-8 across the map now, as Frubblord does take the infantry across the open. Do find the Okdemachiki hiding in that building. Currently they are being supported by the T-34-76 and 1943 T-34-85s. Pack 40 currently helping try and pin down the Okdemachiki here. Oh, lucky not to have those surrendered. I don't think Arturo's noticed that engagement. Yeah, having these Hasselrock here is going to be very, very difficult for Arturo to take care of. He does now have the Gavaria DP squads available, which are the ones with the 2 machine guns. They can certainly do a decent amount of damage at range, and especially against like infantry that's not in cover when they are in cover themselves. But in this case, completely overwhelmed. So many men there. Like, if we zoom in, you'll just see what I mean. There's like literally so many dudes firing away. It's all in a line, just beating down that Strelki DP squad. You can't really afford to have those engagements where you are severely outnumbered, because the effectiveness of your squad is just dramatically decreased. Anyway, Jagdpanzer does manage to get the kill onto the T-34-85. That is very nasty indeed. The T-34-76, I assume, is already dead. Looks like that was burning back further back. T-34-85 got a crew kill crit. Horrible for ArturoDiaz. Oh, bailed out. Tiger E goes down. T-34-85 with a lovely hit right there. And sometimes these T-34-85s can pay dividends, but for the most part they haven't really been performing too well for Arturo. Not a huge fan of the T-34-85 personally. It does always seem to let you down. That rate of fire is a severe problem for them. And so without veterancy, they do tend to lack in power. T-34-76s though, fantastic vehicles. Maybe bringing those more of those in earlier on may have been something that Arturo could have taken advantage of, since it's a division that can have a lot of those T-34-76s. The T-34-85 finally goes down. We see that Frubblord's going to try and smoke off his Tiger to avoid it being killed off by the T-34-85. Got to be careful with his engagement though. Or the Tiger 2-star veterancy gets the kill. Bringing in this Commandant at the start has been actually game-changing as well, especially allowing those Ersatztruppen to get so much value at the start of the game. But now the Tiger benefiting and taking out that T-34 has just moved out of range of the Grenfjord now though, as it engages the T-34-76s further back. That's a lot of shots on target. Another Tiger coming through on the bottom side, using the veterancy from the Tiger E and this Grenfjord. Wow. Yeah, Arturo's in trouble. I mentioned that as soon as a Tiger gets on this hill, it's going to be difficult for Arturo to get any land back. And that's exactly what's happening. The Tiger here killing the T-34 on the reinforcement road, so close to Arturo's spawn. These three Hausarok still killing enemy units. The Zaperi do get one of their charges off, so that is going to destroy half of that squad, but there's still two more full squads of infantry available. And what makes the Hungarian squad so damn scary for a lot of the time is just that they do have so many men in them. They are very strong, high strength units. Both of the Hausarok here, don't tell me they were actually defeated by the Ognemachiki. It looks like they must have both got surrendered eventually or something, because there's no way that Ognemachiki should still be alive if it came up against 32 Hausarok. Anyway, ME-109 coming in with the strafing round of the ZIS-2. Arturo's been purchasing a lot of these ZIS-2s, and I really don't think he's been finding value from them, which has been a big problem. He's brought one in on the bottom side now. It is more or less his only method of taking down Tigers reliably at sort of mid-range. But ultimately, I'd like to just see more T-34-85s. Just stop bringing in ZIS-2s, bring in at least like 2 or 3 T-34-85s at the same time, pick off the Tigers one at a time, and then you're basically good to go. Unfortunately now, the Upper Blitz munition here has come up and fixed this Tiger E Führer, and so there's now 2 Tigers versus 1 T-34-85. So Arturo is going to be very reliant on this ZIS-2 ambushing these other units, because at max range the ZIS-2s have no chance against the Tiger. They're just not going to penetrate, or at least it's very unlikely for them to do so, unless Frubblord accidentally shows side armor or something. But in this case it looks like the ZIS-2 managed to get like an APCR shot off. Low penetration chance caused a crew panic, but ultimately like an APCR hit at long range is not going to do much damage and is very unlikely to kill. Anyway, it's 18-6 now, as Frubblord briefly captures this flag back here, but has now put pressure onto the bridge flag with 2 Panzergrens. ME-109 G6R6 still being used to strafe. I just don't think Arturo has the resources right now to bring in a fighter or any AA to counter, because if he does, then not only is the AA probably just going to get shot at almost immediately by the Tigers, but furthermore, the fighters that the second guards can get I don't think are that good. I think they're like Yak 1Bs maybe? Either way, anyone in 96 R6 is pretty king in the air. And these are the Hungarians, I believe. I think it's a Hungarian Air Force as well, technically. But either way, Grenadier DP now coming in to finish the job. One of them does go down to the ZIS-2. We are seeing the use of these FK231s, sort of small artillery guns that also have some use as sort of infantry guns at closer ranges. But in this case, just trying to pin down the ZIS-2. Pack 40 now engaging the T-34. It's got worse. Just when you think it couldn't get worse, it's got worse, because the 45mm AT guns on the ridge are dead, but they've been replaced by a Pack 40, which is very nasty indeed. And we do see a transport go down there to these Reitjäger. The Reitjäger with the Grenführer nearby. The Commandant has been moved up, so there is still the 2-star veterancy on top of their initial veterancy, making them 3-star. Very, very nasty units to come up against, and unfortunately for Arturo, this is more or less all over, as Frubblord, with his Vanguard deployment style, has just annihilated Arturo early on. And that's something I didn't really mention at the start, but yeah, of course, Frubblord has been using a Vanguard deployment type, so in Phase A, he does want to win as quickly as possible, and we're on about perfect timing, with like normally the 25-minute mark you want to win by with Vanguard. And in this case, I think it's going to take a lot more time for Arturo to come back. He'd need to, push this, or basically hope that he had an extra 5-6 minutes left at least, if he wanted to make the most of his income advantage in Phase C. But I think Frubblord has just got so much value out of his units. They must have killed way more than he's lost. Like, I reckon Frubblord's KD is going to be really, really good. So even though he has a massive income disadvantage in the late game, he's still got all of his Phase A and B units alive, or most of them at least. The MG42 here, going to try and mow down some of these Flamer squads as they come up. This is more or less a last-ditch effort from Arturo. Going to try and support that with some T-34s to find some flags on the top side. It is a good idea, but a little bit too late, as unfortunately there is only 30 seconds left, and by the time these units get to these flags, it's going to be over. And Frubblord is still making more ground here. Jaeger Pioneer pushing up with Reitjäger and Grenadiers. We also had the Panzergrens killing Gavardia at range, and the infantry disparity has been massive throughout this game so far. Oh, there is a chance here for the T-34-85, but it missed. So did the Tiger. Can the APCR shell get a bailout or something? Gets a driver knockout. That is unfortunate. I think the Tiger's just out of line of sight there. Arturo moving it to the side. Does have to be careful. There's a Grenadier here with a Panzerfaust. Oh, that's just going to be nasty. Oh, it's not what you want to see. Poor Arturo, that must hurt. Oh, that's a nice gun jam though. Let the T-34-85 finish the job. The Tiger's vulnerable. Not going to happen. That Tiger saved by the bell. 25 minutes and 25 seconds. Frubblord takes the victory from ArturoDiaz with a massive kill death. 3,040 kills to 1,335 losses. And I mentioned how he probably did have that kind of KD, and it certainly shows right there. So, in terms of kills, well, early game, these 45mm AT guns, they did okay. This one managed to kill in the VK there and the T-34, but the rest of them just didn't perform. He lost all of his AT guns way too quickly, and I don't know if it was just like positioning or whatever, but maybe he was just unlucky with a lot of the hits, but wasn't having a good time at all. I feel like his T-34-85s certainly weren't performing, but that does seem to be a general trend from when I've used them myself. I'm not a massive fan of the T-34-85s, as I've already mentioned. That OB finding the T-34 kill there is quite nice though. These T-34-76 1943s, I would have liked to have seen a lot more of these with the second guards. You can get, I think, like 16 of them in Phase A if you want to, and they're at 45 points apiece, and they're really, really good for like holding back, like especially like a Vanguard playstyle, unless of course your opponent brings in Tigers in the Phase A. But I'm not sure we even saw like a tiger in Phase A, other than maybe the leader variant. I don't know if that came in Phase A or if it was like the first thing that Frubblord bought in Phase B, but either way, the Jagdpanzers certainly showing up. They did a lot of damage. Trading 1-for-1 more or less with the T-34 85s, which is what they need to do, and all they need to do really to get value. The Jagdpanzers, I think they cost 70 points. I think T-34 85. The 1943 variants, I think is like 80 points or something. I'm not sure. But either way, IL-2, bit of a panic buy at the end there, not really very useful. But let's go over to Frubblord's kills. This Jaeger Pioneer, the addition of Jaeger Pioneers on that hill was vital for breaking through the Ognjamachiki and the Gvardia squads at close range. The T-34s supporting Frubblord's push, cleaning up the half tracks was very, very important. Basically made it so Arturo got no value out of his half tracks throughout the game, and probably would have been better off just bringing in Gvardia in Störbeckers. We'd see the MP44s there, demolishing infantry on the side of Arturo. The Jagdpanzer here, look at that. Damn, that's a nice kill list. T-34 85, 1943, Su-85, 1944, T-34 85, and 2 T-34 1946. T-34 76, 1942, sorry. Tiger E-Führer, of course, dominating that bottom side, managing to be kept alive by the smoke. That was a nice play by Frubblord. Another Jagdpanzer getting some lovely kills in there. And the Pak-40 replacing the 45 mils on that hill was pretty nasty indeed. More Tigers just to seal the deal at the end. And the later that got, like, even though Frubblord was Vanguard, I feel like the Tigers just win. Like, especially on that top side. Like, even if Arturo changed tack and started fully attacking that top side, all that Frubblord really has to do is get a couple of Tigers in up there, and he's safe. Like, there's not much else Arturo can really do, because the T-34 85s don't perform at range. You need to be able to get them within like 1,000 meters in order to be able to trade with a Tiger effectively with the T-34 85. And even then, the Tigers have more rate of fire and also aim faster. So it's like really, really difficult for the 85s to find value where they are best. And that's the issue that the second guards has. And I think ultimately both that and the infantry disparity is what won Frubblord the game. Frubblord also, of course, played it very well. There we have it. That is game 1 of a best of 3. So we'll have to see if Arturo can bring it back in game 2. Otherwise, Frubblord's moving on to the final. But great start from Frubblord. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.